was what was the reasoning for wanting to come into LTD? So you obviously you're doing construction with LTD, so you already had like a little bit of, sorry, give me one second, can I call you later? You already had a little bit of background about, what we were doing and stuff, but what made you like, okay, I want to, come in, stop doing construction and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone to a degree is capable of physical labor. I just felt like I was capable of doing more helpful things than that, and I was not around the right people to, I guess, create an environment where that was even possible, really.
What were you trying to create? Do you remember? Or was it?
I didn't. There wasn't anything like I didn't have a specific goal. It sounds very cliche, but I felt like I had more to give as a human being, and that the labor I was doing, although it was providing value, was not the most I was capable of.
What do you feel like's changed now? Do you feel like you have a difference in like what you're doing and like the contribution stuff like that? Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of a loaded question. I feel like my entire life is different, actually. My health, my relationships, the business side of my life, it's all quite a bit different, almost a 180, like every area, I would say.
and what do you attribute that to specifically? Because obviously it's not necessarily just LTD. So what would you attribute like overall? Like, I mean, if you want to say some things that LTD's helped provide, but like,
Yeah.
what do you think it's been?
The biggest thing for me is really just like putting yourself around the right people. And again, that is kind of a cliche. I would notice like, and even now it's a practice. If I'm around people who don't necessarily have the same high level or even similar standards to what we do, I feel myself more willing not to do the things that I know I'm capable of. And so, yeah, I would almost say like getting yourself around people who expect more out of you, even though that might be kind of scary. It's what's going to draw out more from you, in my opinion.
What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned so far working at LTD? Has there been like one where it's like, wow, that was a game changer or like a big shift?
Yeah, the biggest thing, it's like I don't really, I'm only 28, so people don't just rush to me asking for advice all the time, but it is the one thing whenever someone does ask me for that, what I end up saying, and that is that you'll never have the answers to like feel like you can do everything perfectly like you may want to. So any like ideas you have, anything you want to start, anything you want to figure out, you're always going to have that like I'm not really sure feeling every single time, even when you've been doing it. And that is what stops almost everybody from even taking that first jump, in my opinion, is like having just that, even if it's false confidence, that like tiny bit of belief in themselves that it's possible.
What made you take the first jump?
Again, just goes back to people around me, like putting myself around, sorry, people who expect more of me than even at times I expected of myself.
Yeah, what was your initial on that though? Like, so like before you even got around the right people and stuff, what was the initial like, dude, I need to even get around those people to put me in that position? Like, what was the catalyst? It was like, okay, this has got to shift.
Yeah, it was more internal, and then there's kind of a degree of like, whatever you are experiencing in life is a reflection of kind of what you're putting out there. So I had to take some responsibility in who I was surrounding myself with. But at the same time, there's a line of like, okay, now like I've done as much as I can to help them get out of the phases they were in, and I've done as much as I can for me, and the things like I guess the trajectory wasn't where I wanted it to be. And so again, just shifting the people I was around, and yeah, it just made all the difference.